We are live. Good afternoon, everyone. It's Nathaniel Evans and Jeannie Muhammad. I am the data with our host, Sunny Savage. I focus on leadership and the development, finding that purpose. And from there, I'm going to pass on to Jeannie because we have an amazing conversation and that's want to get into it. So,
Thank you, Nathaniel. I am Jeannie Muhammad, your global happiness expert. I focus on happiness and finding the power within us to activate the happiness that we have sometimes trapped in there, but we do have the power to activate it. I like to start off always saying that I am grateful. I am grateful for waking up this morning. I'm grateful for being able to see the sun, this beautiful sunshiny day. I'm grateful
mm-hmm.
for the life that my creator has given to me. So I am grateful for the people that he has placed in my life. I'm grateful to Nathaniel for his beautiful, beautiful spirit, always, giving me something that I can walk away and think about. So I am grateful for that. I'm grateful for our beautiful guest today, Sunny. And what a beautiful name, Sunny.
Yeah,
Right.
Thank
definitely.
you,
So
guys.
thank you for being here with us. And with that, let's get into this conversation of exploring her power from within. See, oh, I didn't even hadn't even looked at that. And now look at what we're talking about, the power within Sunny. So go ahead, Nathaniel, and
Honey, we on talking about Sunny's journey. This is Sunny's journey.
yes.
So we do our open conversations. We might throw a little question here and there, but not we don't really do those things. Sunny is an amazing woman, right? And you can see her energy, you can see it radiating off of her, right? She's explosive, right? She's ready, she's open, and this is a beautiful thing because you stand next to Sunny, you start feeling some Sunny vibes, right? And things start feeling a little better for you. She's saying a little couple of positive words, to you to help you throughout life. So we're gonna talk about Sunny's journey, what she's been doing, and how she's looking at life, on her terms, in this time period. As you say, Jeannie, people come into your life. I ran into Sunny many years ago at a weird space. It was a crazy, crazy organization. It was like, why am I even doing this job? Like, why am I even in this profession? Like, this is crazy. Like, do I even belong here? Like, I just actually like, yo, is this what they do in social services? Like, you know what I mean? So
Right.
it's like, but in that space, and like you said, you meet people in your life that most high placed there for you. I met Sunny in that space, right? And we always had that connection. We always had that positive vibe. And I ran into a couple of weeks ago, and that vibe was the same way. Even though we didn't see each other for years, it was that same energy. And I was like, Sunny, we got to talk to you. We got to see what's going on with you, right? And with that, talk about yourself, Sunny. Let's say what's
Okay,
going
I
on with
just want to say that you're absolutely right. We met in a place where I had just left my corporate job and people thought I was crazy. So the experience that you had, I'm experiencing it from a totally different perspective, brand new to social services, coming from corporate America, jump right into my life's work, my mission work, right? And I was taken aback by what we endured. So I'm glad that we met at a time that was confusing because I feel like those type of relationships tend to stick. Like you said, even years later, we were like, okay, same
That's
energy,
right.
right? Because I think we both jumped in with a mission mindset, knowing that we were there to do something, just not knowing that the ring that we were jumping into was kind of filled with chaos already.
It
Um,
had fire around. The fire was around the ring.
what?
You got to
It
take the
it was
chances.
it was kind of crazy, but to attest to that, I want to say that the woman that I am today came from me making those types of leaps of faith and saying I'm going to leave this corporate job. I want to do something that's mission based because what I'm doing here doesn't make an impact. And from that job, I went on to other similar social service related work. Still work with social service now, and each time it actually elevated me. So although it was
Mm,
crazy, right, it taught me things that I could not get anyplace else in the world. And even from like, let's jump ahead a few years later, my life is crazy again, and I'm working in a facility that now offers meditation as a stress reduction technique for us, right? That was life-changing for me, right? So the woman that you see now, the difference from her and me, right, even though it was the same person, was that I kind of grabbed a lot of techniques to reduce my stress along the way of the chaos. I already have a chaotic, I don't want to say, well, yeah, I can say that. I had a chaotic upbringing. Probably part of the reason why I dove into social services and said, I need to do something. I feel like in life, you could either let your upbringing break you, or you could take what you have and say, it was for a reason. Now let me alchemize this. What can I do to now turn that into something else that could be beneficial for other people like me? And those type of jobs in social services, I found my people, in a sense that I found people who were down bad, but they needed someone like me to kind of just tell them exactly what they needed, not tell them what to do, but say, you know, I'm just like you. I know you're looking at me and I look like this and I have this seat and I have this title or whatever. It doesn't matter. Just like you. I had a mom like you, a dad like yours, you know, and I saw the other side of it. And then allowing people to say, oh, it's another side of this. It's something on the other side of this. And I think that's what really made me who I am. I've been humbled repeatedly because of those jobs and my own personal life. And I think each time it just showed me I was on the right track. No matter how crazy it was, I was on the right track. I was in my mission as far as teaching people that there was another side to their story that did not come from the chaos. Like there's a flip side to that. And I think that's really what made me Sunny, is because instead of focusing on the negative, I would allow people to point out what was positive in that moment. Yeah, you may not have anything right now, but what can you be grateful for today in this very moment, and take that energy and run with it. And I think that's what makes me Sunny. So
yeah, that's really important. It's really important to basically like find that energy, that unique energy for you. You know, even if you don't know what it is in totality, right? Even if it's a speck, to grab that energy and build on that energy and expound that energy and move with that energy in real time, to allow you to find different things on a journey that you would never have found if you never really took that journey. So a lot of times people don't want to take certain journeys because it's unfamiliar to them. It's scary. You know, it wasn't paid out for them, right? And this is when we grow. We grow when we're on our own, when we're by ourselves, and when we're digging into the dirt and pulling out everything and saying, what's this? What's that? We start getting inquisitive and we start building. And this is why we need people like Jeannie, and why we need people like Sunny, you know, in order to show the world that we have different levels of vibrations. There's not one level of vibration in the world. There are millions of vibrations in the world, and we're going to show you that our vibrations also exist. So you can choose what vibration you want to tap into the world to save your life or to lose it.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And I think that people often accept their environment. They accept what's in front of them. In front of them, they see so many blueprints and examples of the same exact carbon copies of I'm going to say disaster, or maybe just a mindset of not being able to choose their frequency. They think that they're assigned a frequency. They don't know that no, you literally choose that. And I think that's why I brought up meditation, because when I learned transcendental meditation, it showed me how to choose my frequency. It showed me how to quiet everything and really go inside me, right? Not my environment, not what was coming at me. Life, you know, I'm a mother. I got 3 kids. My oldest son got special needs, work, divorce. Like so much was happening all in the same time span. And I got meditation to come into my life, and it kind of shut all the noise out. And I was like, whoa, how do you want to feel? Right? To your point, how do you want to feel? It's not about what's happening. What's the frequency that you're going to choose right now? Yes, this is happening, but what are you going to choose to feel? And I chose that happiness. And once I started, I was like, oh, I'm not stopping this. And anybody who meets me today, when they tell me something bad, because people tend to like pour on, you know, they open up, and I say, do you meditate? That's the first question. Do you meditate? And they say, oh, no, I can't. My mind is too busy. And I'm like, I got ADHD. I got other acronyms that they'll try to attach to me. I still try, and I'm consistent with that trying, to the point where I'm not sure if it's working, but I know my intention is set. So I handle things differently because I'm choosing to initiate that frequency. I'm not just choosing to allow what's happening around me to kind of just go down and be like, whoa, it's me. No, It's
That's
wow
right.
is
There's no,
me, not woe
yeah,
is me.
wow is me. There's no woe is me,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, it's kind of like when you come into this land, right? You come in this land fresh, clean. You don't know nothing's going on, and somewhere down the line, someone tells you that you're supposed to know your path in and out, right? So you can't take no risk because you're supposed to automatically know your path in and out. But I didn't know my path from the beginning. How always I just know my path out of nowhere? No, I don't know it. This is why I'm doing what I do. I'm moving according to the energy, the frequencies, the vibrations, the whispering. You know what I'm saying? That's actually cultivating me and moving me, right? So I don't know nothing that's going on. Don't try to get me to start lying. Talking about, I know that this is gonna happen at this time, at this particular day, and all. No, we're not gonna do any of those things. What we're gonna do is that we're gonna move in our healthy vibration, which is a vibration that resonates with us, a vibration that allows us to be at peace, to be at harmony. You know what I'm saying? To see and to at times even know life. We don't know all the time. Like the Most High says, the scripture that the Most High says, in the good time you forget the bad, and the bad time you forget the good. So we have to understand what the balance is, and sometimes it's just subjective. Some people have subjective balances that is not for their own purpose, right? Like you lock yourself into something that's not to increase your purpose. The things that you lock yourself in, the people you talk to, the places you go, it's all about your purpose.
I agree, and I think that's how you learn what you just said. Is as far as the whispers and knowing, that's how you build your intuition. People always think intuition means psychic, like I'm gonna see, like you said, time and date of when I'm gonna hit the lottery. That's not how it works. I'm literally physically in the moment of reading the energy to determine what my next steps would be. That's my intuitive gift right there.
That's right. That's right. That's
right. It's not about like flipping cards or even just saying, oh, tomorrow is going to be a storm. Like, it's not that type of thing. It's an internal intuition that I have with the world or with God. Actually, I'm going to say that's the whisperer, right? Now, the way I take care of myself is how loud would that voice be? So if I'm not taking care of myself, if I'm not sleeping, not eating right, around the wrong people, like you mentioned, that voice is going to get lower and lower because I'm drowning it out with the wrong frequency. Is now bringing me down where I'm not as high as I should be with God. I'm not as high as I should be with self to be able to see and read the room and be like, oh, wait, this is not a good idea, and this is how people end up making poor decisions because they're not in tune with that part of themselves.
Yeah, because when you look at it, right, it's like, it's there. You can't see it. Jeannie might be able to see it, or she might be able to see some vibrations, but you can't see it all the time. But you can feel it, man. It's that course, man. It's just doing what it want to do, man. It's just like, yeah, you got decisions. You're like, which way you want to go, right? And then when you're looking at it, you want all the decisions that you're making to be optimistic, and you want them to be in order to build you up. So, what is my? Jeannie and I did a podcast before. Was what is your relationship with life, right? If you're walking down a block with life, what is the relationship with that entity? What y'all gonna talk about? What y'all gonna do? Where y'all gonna go? You know what I'm saying? Can y'all sing together, dance together? Are y'all gonna cry and laugh together? Like, what is gonna be that relationship? And we actually have to see it like that sometimes on a metaphysical level in order to make these journeys that we don't even know about. But we know we gotta make these journeys. We don't know what those journeys are. They're not stamped and approved. The Most High ain't send us a certified mail and say, hey, open this up, and this is what you gotta do, right? It's not coming in that form. But it's still coming certified, but it's just coming from here. And because we're so disconnected from here in this lifespan, we're so focused on tangible things, right? And identifiers and titles and things of that nature, we forget this. We forget this is the messenger.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is the intuitive individual. This is the person that's actually going to give you insight or say, hey, you better move right now because they ain't looking good for you, right? So this is that entity that's there to help you move and move and move. And as we move in, remember, there's so many other entities that's trying to grab us as we're moving. They're trying to lock us in.
I am really enjoying this conversation. Because I focused on something you said earlier, Sonny, about choices. And when we come to understand that we do have choices, sometimes we allow life to just toss us any which way as though we don't have a choice. And that is the beauty of life is I don't care what it is. We always have a choice. We just have to be ready to accept the responsibilities that come with those choices. Sometimes we don't want to say that if I chose to do this, then this is going to be the result of my making this choice. And I am not willing to pay the price
Mm.
that choice. But we always have a choice. And that is when we understand the power that we have within. And we relinquish that power because we accept whatever anyone else has given us without taking the time to be quiet and getting to know who we are and what we are and why we are here and what our purpose is, what our mission is, and understanding that all the things that happen to us in life, I don't care what label we put on it. We may put on a label of tragic, and we may put on it a label of this is horrendous, but it's a blessing. All of those things that happen to us in our lives, we can flip them and make them blessings. I love what you said, Sonny, about whatever has happened to us, maybe in our childhood with our mothers, our fathers, the mates that we have chosen in our lives that we chose. But we may not understand the how much of a blessing all of that has been in forming us into the beautiful people that we are today, because we
Mm-hmm.
decided to choose, we made the choice of turning those things into blessings. We made that choice. We decided to flip it and look at it. So I'm just enjoying this because we're speaking on that same frequency that I always say to Nathaniel. When we speak on a frequency out of love, that is the highest frequency we can come from, is that frequency of love for self, starting with self. And once we fall in love with self, we expand that out into our families, our
Mm-hmm.
community, the universe. So I'm just really in enjoying speaking about the high frequency that we can all operate from.
Yeah, and within those high frequencies of one another, this is where our gifts lie. This is where we're able to teach one another, to direct one another, to ensure one another, to encourage one another, to love each other, to embrace each other. Right? One of the things I've learned, even when I interact with different sets or different, groups or whatever, one of the elements that be missing in groups and sets is love. You may have all this information, y'all got all this knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You got scrolls from the 18th centuries. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the what was written in those texts, the true vibration of what actually brought forth that information is missing, which is love. Love is what actually brought that forth. Why would I actually take the time out to write things that would save lives for generations moving forward if it's not built on love? Right?
That's
So why
right.
would I teach you a lesson that I learned, I have fell from, and now you can learn that lesson and not fall from that lesson? That's based on love. So most of the things that our ancestors did in this time and things that they built was based on love and based on the reality that life is life. We're going to keep moving. We're going to keep moving. And you can bring out any plagues, any diseases, any financial hardships, any type of structures or any type of laws you want to bring in the land. We're going to move past those things anyway, right? Because we're here to move. We're here to live. And we're here to create. And the things that we create in the framework of love actually allows us to continue on our own journeys. As we build for others, we also build for ourselves.
I agree. Love is the fuel. That's the battery. That's what keeps you charged. That's what keeps you in tune with the Most High at all times, because you can't break that type of connection, right? It's not attached to anything negative. I know people like to say love will make you do crazy things. It's like, no, crazy people make you do crazy things. It's not coming from love once you get to that point. So I think that's beautiful. And I always say God is love, because that, like you said, is the
Yeah.
highest you could go, right? And once we learn to rebuild that within ourselves, it spreads like wildfire. And I think, for me, I heard a woman say the other day on a podcast that she didn't enjoy motherhood. And I normally don't go back and forth online with people. And I said to myself when I read it, I said, wow, my motherhood is what taught me love. Because like I said, maybe I didn't have it the way I needed it growing up. But when I became a mother, I learned what love was, because I knew this is not going to repeat itself. It was that choice that you were talking about, Jeannie. I had already made that decision. All right, I'm going to move forward with love. Right. So I had to learn what that was. And it was because of my children that I had that mirror to say, oh my God, this is like a mini me, right? So now how would I want it? So for me to even get to that point, I had to learn what I needed. It was, okay, separate yourself from being a mom, you know, what do you need to feel loved? And learning that, and then and just putting that all into my children and saying, for each kid, they're all different, right? And they all deserve a different type of love. They desire different types of love, which made me grow skill sets for learning how to love individuals, right? So for me, my children is what taught me that. It was like that love right there is unbreakable, can't be matched. And it's based off of how I love myself. I always have to hold myself accountable when I mess up, right? Because I raised them in such a way that they're gonna tell me, right? They're gonna come back and say, "Ma, that's not, that's not what we said." Because I'm at a point in life where I've grown to a point in life where the principles of love um, are everything for me, right? So I want my children to understand that so they can reflect it back to me, and also learn to reflect it back to the people that are around them. Also, like I said, holding myself accountable. Accountability is big when it comes to love, because you're human, right? And if you do something wrong, if you don't love someone properly, even, it doesn't matter if it's a friendship, relationship, your family, whatever, you have to
Stranger.
hold yourself accountable and identify what was missing. Was I wrong? Is their interpretation of it wrong? And then be willing to love them enough to rectify it, to communicate and say, okay, you know what? I might have been wrong. Or maybe that's not how I meant it, but not saying it in a way that belittles their opinion, but having that understanding. To me, that's what love is. And all of that, like I said, it came from my children. That's the root for me, because little people don't often understand, adult minds. That maybe I said something they misinterpreted. So now I got to come back and make sure I say it in a way where I'm not belittling their concept of what it was supposed to be. But now saying, okay, let's fix this. They're my first example of that. And now I can apply that to other relationships, business relationships, everything, and say, okay, I love what I'm doing. I love this relationship. Whatever it is that I love, I'm going to move forward in that energy, make sure I hold myself accountable, make sure boundaries are in place because I love myself, right? And move forward with that. So love is really like the root and the as above, so below. It's the root and the highest, right? Of all the things that we do.
That's right, because if
Yes.
you search, I'm sorry, Jenny, because you got us hyped,
No.
but if you search,
Sorry.
I'll just once and then I'm gonna go. But if your search is for life, to know life, you'll learn so much more on your journey. But if you go, it's like if you go into the world and you don't like have any type of perceptions, any type of goals, any type of values, any type of substance, you'll go into many different experiences and don't take the lessons that you're supposed to learn from those experiences.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about love, we always talk about it in like it's an emotion.
Yeah.
And it is that, but it's so much more, because love is action. If you can say that I love you, but if your actions don't correspond with love, then I can say, well, no, you don't love me, because can you say you love me and hit me at the same time? How can you say you love me and you bite all the time? How can you say you love me and you are envious of me to the point where you would want to see me dead? But you say you love me, and as Sonny said in earlier, that say love made me do it, or love because that's like saying the devil made me do it. No, you know, you decided how you wanted to react. You made that decision, and you are not taking responsibility for the decision that you made. Now you're casting blame. That would be like casting blame for me to say I'm the person I am today because of the way my parents treated me. No, I'm the person that I am today because I made decisions based on what I wanted to do to make me into the person I am today. So casting blame on love or casting blame on the devil made me do it, it takes the weight off of accepting the
Accountability.
responsibility for
You
who
said
we
it
are.
takes the weight about accountability, about, because when you're looking at love is like love is a release, right? It's to release me. It's to know me and to release me to be me. That's basically what love is. It's not for you to know me and then to control me or to create me into what you want me to be. That's not what it is. It's you saw me, you was infatuated, you was like, this is amazing. I want this entity in my life, whatever it may be, and this is how we're gonna move. And now you got to learn about me because you took time out to try to bring me into this space or into this space. And now you got to take time to learn me. And once you get the time to learn me, now you can release me. You know what I'm saying? And we can release each other, but we still have that connection. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So now
if
it's
you
like
love me,
it might
let
take
me
you a
know.
week. Yeah, it might take me 2 weeks to say, hey, what you been doing? What's going on with you? Right? Because we're moving, we're putting things in perspective, and we have found a love of our lives that it's amazing that we want to share with others. When we come to certain spaces, that we want to take this love and we want to share with others on many different levels, right? And this ensures us that love is true, that is sound, that is pure, you know what I'm saying, that is value for us, and that is something that's always been a part of us and will always be a part of us as we grow. We look at all these different things they have in the world that try to take away this, that essence, that her that exists within her, that he that exists within he. They try to take that. You know what I mean? Like I was talking to a guy yesterday and he was saying something about him going through a lot of, physiological changes and stuff like that, social changes and stuff. And I told him, I said, well, you're going through these changes so you can lose the spirit of you. I said,
People don't know
all
what
these
that
things.
means. Yeah. You got to die a couple of times.
Yeah, all these things are a manifestation to try to move you from you. You get, that was a great concept too. You got to die a couple of times. You go through many different lives as we're going through life. We go through many different stages of life and we create new lives for ourselves all the time. Sometimes we get stuck. And when we get stuck, we can't move forward because we're not meant to be stuck. We're meant to move past all things regardless of what it is. People want to create permanent fixtures in a life where we're transitioning. We're not permanent fixtures. We are transitional beings. Everything that we create is transitional. All this stuff, if you don't take care of it, it's going to rot and turn right back to dust. It's all transitional, including us. The glasses, the hat, the scarf, whatever it is, the money, all of it. This is just how we...
And that's understanding that because we are part of the universe. And sometimes we don't understand that the same elements that are in the earth, the same elements that are in the universe, all of that is in us. Just like, the stars die, stars die all the time, but new stars are formed, and that's the same with our lives when it comes to us evolving into who we are, because we're constantly evolving, we're constantly changing. And anytime someone says to you, I have reached the epitome of who I should be or what I am here for, then that person may as well say, I'm dead.
Yep.
It's time to run. It's time to run. That's basically what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because I wrote an article one time and a man had answered the article and he was saying that he knew 2 people that was perfect, right? And I was like, you met 2 people that's perfect? He said, I met 2 people in the world that's perfect. And I said, the only way that individual could say that they perfect, right, is if they take the same record and play it over and over and over again. Right? Because life is not built like that. Right? You can't say you perfect in the land, right? You can't say it because you don't know the measure of perfection. You don't know the measure of perfection. The Most High didn't give you the concept of the measure of perfection yet. He only gave you a semblance of it. He only allowed you to taste it a little bit to see that there's another element to who you are and what this life is about. But he didn't give you the full ingredient on being perfect.
I don't think there is a perfect. I don't even think people should aspire to be perfect. I think you should just aspire to be the best version of who you're capable of being.
Yeah. because there's no reason to destroy yourself as you're trying to grow and build yourself. There's no reason to put yourself on a chopping block if you don't have to, right? Who are you trying to impress? You know what I'm saying? There's no one to impress. You can't impress you because you already you.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? You have to do the things for you to get to be a part of you, but you can't impress you. You know what I mean? Who gets to the point and say, you know what, I learned everything. Let's die now.
An insane person who's giving up on life.
Yeah. Like what you learn everything. All right, so tell me all the fish that's in the ocean.
But you know what? That is the excitement of life, is knowing that you don't know everything.
That's it.
And there is so much more to learn, and that you're constantly on a journey, not just learning outside things, but actually learning who you are, learning that inward power that we have, and tapping into that inward power and seeing the changes that we can make, not only within ourselves, but in our immediate surroundings and the world, because we have that power within. But it's learning. It's learning that. It's becoming acquainted with that, becoming really acquainted with yourself, and having those light bulbs go off and say, oh, I finally understand what that means and what that is saying. That's like reading the Bible or the Holy Quran, and you read it 5 years ago, and now you come back, you've gone through different experiences in your life, and you come back and read that same thing, and it has a different meaning for you.
And it clicks.
That punch is different. That's a different punch. Now you're like, oh man, right?
Forever a student. I think it's important to live like that, you know? And that's why you gotta allow yourself to die. And I don't mean like physically die, but it's almost like you graduate when you die. You know, if you're on board with the transition. So those light bulb moments that happen and you're like, wow, oh man. And not even being mad at yourself that you didn't catch it before. You know,
that's right.
This time it was meant for me to catch it. Now that I caught it, I can't let go. And that's it. I'm moving forward. Yeah.
And it's kind of like, it's also kind of like, you know, the snake that shreds the skin. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, you know, the snake got used to that skin, and then one day it had to biologically shed it. You know what I'm saying? So we have to take on different forms of life, and some of those forms of life, we have to shed those lives. We have to move those lives out of our way.
It don't fit no more.
Places, it don't fit no more. It's no longer condensed or basically essential to my growth and development, to my path moving forward. You know, and you know, we get to a space of permanency. Like, I need to have this. I want this. You know, and none of these things are true.
Right.
None of those things are true. We don't need to have all those things that they say you need to have. You don't need to experience all these things that people say you need to experience, right? And it's like, my daughter asks me things about what they teach in school today. They might be teaching about LGBTQ and all these different things. And she's, you know, probing me and asking me how I feel about it and what is my stance. You know, and I'm like, well, you know, with the way the world is moving, the only stance I can speak is truth. I can't speak another truth. Only truth I can speak is and tell her is that if I was LGBTQ, you know, she might not have been here, right? I can't, you know, say anything else to you about it because I don't even know where this energy is coming from, why it came into the world, what is its purpose for the world. You know, I guess that people will say about, you know, me being free and me being me, you know, but to be free and be me is not to explain me.
It's just to be.
Yeah, I don't have to explain myself. You don't have to. I don't have to wait for your approval. I don't need laws implemented so you can honor me and respect me. I don't need any of those things. At the end of the day, I'm me.
And you know what? Because all of this is the laws that are passed. Those same laws can be repealed. So it's not. It's not about a law today. Ask us about the voting rights and the 14th Amendment and the 13th Amendment, and you know,
what happens?
You know, if you say you making a law to free me, that means you can make a law to enslave me.
So, yeah, you had to make one. Yeah, you had to make one law for the other one to exist.
so it's all about. That's right. You don't depend on the law to be who you are. I mean, God already has established that,
That's right.
he's
That's right.
established that,
That's right.
and so, and once you know you and your relationship to the Most High, to the whatever name you may call, some people just say the universe, some people say God, some people say Allah, but whatever entity that is the creator, because there's only one creator. And then once you have established your relationship with your creator, then I don't care what Nathaniel say or call me. I mean, you could call me whatever,
Right.
because I know who I am. And so it's not dependent upon you to make a law to define me and my freedom. I'm free to live. God gave me that freedom. That's my birthright.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
It's almost like the laws box you in, because being part of the LGBT or whatever the acronym is not new. It's not like it's something that just sprung upon us and now we're like we have to defend this group. Being black is not new. Being a woman is not new. So a lot of times people have, I mean specific groups have agendas to kind of like point out certain groups and identify saying they're protecting, but I'm not sure if it's really protecting. Like you said, if you can make the law, you can also flip it and reverse it, right? When I was already me, when I was born, I was already living my life without anybody justifying why I had to be this way or how I am. So I don't know. That one is hard for me. And it again, the agenda behind it. I know my own personal lifestyle. I know the lifestyle of my children or whatever, but it's almost like when I see it online, I can tell it's not really made for us, or not. I don't want to say for us. It's not made for the people it's supposed to be, or it's projected to be protected.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Because
I don't even know how to. I think it's kind of still. I don't want to say it's new to me, but I don't know how to address it. Kind of like what you were saying, Nathaniel. I don't really know how to speak on it because like you said, I've been living my life the way I've been living my whole life, and can't nobody tell me nothing about how I'm supposed to move.
Or what I'm supposed to think or how I'm supposed to behave.
Well,
You might come up with a song and say, I have to like the song. I don't have to like the song, bro. Right? I do not have to like the song.
Right.
Right? Because this is a part of who I am. I'm a part of this decision-making process. You're not. Right?
You know
what? Can't create something and say, here, eat it, Nathaniel.
Nathaniel, son, I know how I feel about it. I'm going to express how I feel about it. I feel about it the way God feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
God does not hate the sinner. He hates the sin. And when God created man, he created woman. He did not. So to me, he created man and woman to procreate. If you cannot procreate, Nathaniel said it, that's all he can say. If you cannot, you get together, two people get together, and out of that union a child cannot be produced with sperm and ovum, then that's not the law that God set up. Now, it's not for me to judge. Only God knows why he allows certain things to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea why.
We don't know.
I have no idea.
But it's one thing that we do know. We may not know that, but it's one thing that we do know. We're all transitioning. This is something that we all do know, that we're all transitioning. So the relationship that you create in this world with life is that relationship that you take with you when you transition out of this life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when we're looking at this life, we have to be very selective. You know what I'm saying? And ideal about what path that we're choosing our lives. If I have to explain to you all day, every day about who I am, I'll probably have to explain the same thing to the Most High.
And we said it earlier.
Right? So
God already knows. He already knows.
Yeah,
he's the only one that can make a decision. He's the only one that can judge. I may not like your lifestyle. I may not like anything about you. I may not like the color of your hair. I may not like the color of your eyes. but that's not for me. God is the ultimate decider. The
Mhm.
creator is the ultimate decider of it all. So in the meantime, I can live with you in harmony as long as you don't infringe on my freedom,
Because
justice,
yeah,
and equality. Do
I
not
can't do nothing. That's true. I agree with you. I can't do nothing about the vibrations that's outside of me.
Mhm.
Whatever these vibrations that you created, why you create these vibrations, I can't allow these vibrations to control me. And this is the only reason why I spoke about this particular group of people, and there's many other groups that's even gangs and things of that nature. That actually, when you're looking at the vibration of life, is the vibration of life within those spaces, right? Is harmony, is love in those spaces,
Mhm.
right? Is it filled with optimism, or is it filled with pessimism? They don't like me, or they judge. Like, you don't want to be in spaces where you take away from your life, where you take away from this beautiful essence that we have to learn, to grow, to develop, to explore. You know what I'm saying? To see Sunny 5 years later and Bub and hug her like I saw her yesterday. Like, these are the things that's so important as we making this journey. And then I was looking at and this is different. I was looking at a law that just actually came out where people are trying to get children to have prohibitors and things of that nature at age of 12 and 13 years old. They're pushing out for hormone shots and things of that nature. But as you said, the laws in certain states are pushing back against that. And one of the things that they said is that man may think he knows what he's doing, but he does not. Right? So it's basically like, we don't want to pass a law where you say, this is who I am at 13. And then when you get 26, you're not that person anymore.
and they'll pass
Right?
a law for that too, Nathaniel.
No, but what you just said is real life. As a
Yeah.
human being in general,
Yeah.
when you're 13, you do think you're one way. And by the time you hit 26, you realize, whoa, that's not me,
That's right.
and then you have to rectify. So if it's something that's medically adjusted, it's going to kind of be hard to go back, and I
Yeah.
think that's why it's important that we don't make those decisions early on.
Yeah, and Jeannie said it right the first time, to be still and to be silent. When all this information is coming to us from the world, I mean, it's bombarding us. It's moving faster than the speed of light. It's on our bodies all day, every day. We can't even shake some of it, right? So we have to understand that all the information that comes to us is not for us. All the information that comes into the land is not for us to devour, to become friends with, and to bring forth into life. You know what I'm saying? Especially things that do not cultivate our lives, do not bring us to the next plateau.
And if we don't understand that there are agendas that we do not understand, there are agendas that are determined in the back rooms, among people that may not have our best interest at heart. So we have to understand there are agendas. So we should decide for ourselves and for the people that for this time that maybe we have some control over, and I'm talking about our children, that if we do not know ourselves, if our mindset is not such, and it all is the mindset, it's all about our mindset. Do we have a mindset where we have started to learn who we are and what we want for ourselves? Then we have the responsibility to direct our children in that direction, and not just hand our children over to whoever wants to make decisions for them. Again, we have a choice. We have a choice. I mean, in the school system. And I know it's not easy, but if I'm a parent in the school system and I see that they're teaching my children things that I do not agree with, that I do not condone, why would I allow my child to stay in that system? Why would I have a choice, Now I have to say, okay, no, I'm going to take my child out of that. But now I have to decide, what am I going to do? What responsibility do I have as a parent to make sure that my child is educated? Then I may have to give up some things. I mean, I was watching this program on uh, uh, the web yesterday. There's these two parents that decided they did not like what was going on, what their children were being taught. They fell off the grid, what they call falling off the grid. They went and bought them some property. They started raising their own food. They started educating their children. Now, according to this world, they're living in poverty because they don't have all the amenities that this world affords. But they decided it was more important for them to be able to educate their children and give their children what they wanted them to have. So we have a choice. And I know
Yeah.
it's not an easy choice. It's not an easy choice. You're a single mother. You have to, you have to work, whether you send your children to school or not. But we have choices that we make.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, I had to teach my children that whatever mommy is teaching you, the rest of the world may not operate under the same rules.
That's right.
And I say that to them all the time.
That's right.
What I'm teaching you is how our family will be developed. Everything that's happening in the world is not necessarily for you to absorb. Like you said before, what are you taking in? Right.
Yeah.
And knowing that mommy's rules are based off of what's going to protect us and allow you to be an individual that's not like anybody else, because you're not supposed to be like anybody else. And it's going to protect you from just following trends. It's going to protect you from just doing what everybody else is doing. You have to have boundaries within yourself. And then my youngest is 7, and she has very strong boundaries. So anytime I see her asking questions or saying, no, that's not right, I'm proud, because that's me seeing the rules or the foundation that I set playing out in real time, and her not just going along with whatever is happening.
And you have to be a strong mama to be that way, don't you?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of sacrifice. That's a lot of explaining, that's answering a lot of questions. That's not ignoring them. That's not being stuck on my phone all day, so I could actually hear them and know that they have questions, they have desires, they want to know information that's going on. Paying attention. I think just having listening skills to listen to your children and not just also say this is this is this, but also listening to them, allowing them to give feedback and correcting them and say, okay, I get what you're saying, but maybe like this instead,
and be the example, and being an example, not just saying do as I say, and what is that saying?
Not as I do.
Not as I do, but being true to what you are teaching them. If they see you saying one thing out of your mouth and you're being something else, then that's confusing.
They're going to check me. They're going to check me. And I built them in such a way where we have strong communication in this house. If I am a hypocrite, they're allowed in a respectful way to say, mommy, but you said this, but you're doing that. And they've done that to me. And I had to be like, whoa, am I? And assess it, and I want them to do that. I want them to have enough freedom of speech and communication skills to acknowledge when somebody is not doing what they said they were going to do. I'm their first example. Right. So if they can do that with me, now maybe it's the teacher in school who's not teaching the way they should, or maybe not respecting their boundaries. They can identify that and use their words and say, hey, you're not respecting the boundary that we have in place. And I love that about them. And I really, like I said, I see my work through them. It's because that's an imitation or maybe a reflection of what I'm doing, because they see me checking people. I don't allow people to go beyond boundaries, right? That's something I always boundaries, respect, accountability. Those are big in my house. So now when you cross that boundary, speak on it. Don't sit there and be like, wow, they disrespected me. No, say it out loud. This is my boundary. And I know for sure that I don't like how that made me feel. And they move with that. So again, I teach them, we operate different from the world. My daughter has friends in school who get bullied. And she's like, well, how come she let them do that? And I said, well, that's something her mommy has to teach her. You cannot stand up for her. You cannot step in front of what the bully is about to do. She has to learn that type of resilience within herself. And that's something that I taught you that maybe her mom didn't have a conversation with her about, as far as boundaries and when people make you feel uncomfortable, how to say, hey, I don't like that. That's something that
Yes.
comes from self-love.
Sonny, how old are your children? Because you are really, they're blessed to have someone like you as their mother. How old are your children?
My oldest son is 19. He'll be 20 in November. That's my son that's on the spectrum. And my middle son is 15. He'll be 16 in November. And my daughter will be 8 in October. So it's some age gaps. But to me, it's beautiful. I got 3 different versions of life that I'm responsible for and 3 different stages, and they all receive my information differently, but they show me that they get it. And the way that they love other people, the way that even my daughter trying to protect her friend, that is I see myself in that, because I am the person that's the leader. I'm the like, whoa, you're not going to disrespect them. She sees me do that. And she goes to school and she's like, no, boundaries. Don't let them do that to you, And it is really through, like I said, I wasn't always this person. I wasn't born like this. This was through me getting dragged through life. This was through me making mistakes, me learning I had to set boundaries and not allow people to cross certain things or talk to me a certain way. However, I learned it. I made sure they were going to see that version of the blueprint and not just the horror story. No, they're going to see the good part and they're going to take that part.
And that's the beauty of it too. Not only just see the harm that you go through, but also let people also experience the goods that you're going through.
Right.
The blessings that you have, the gifts that you receive, we're supposed to share our gifts with each other and, and increase each other with our gifts because, I don't know, maybe one person want to be in heaven by themselves.
No.
Maybe you want to be there by yourself. Maybe that's what you want to do. Like that's like you just there by yourself and no one's there.
I need a party when I get there.
You need a partner. Like you need somebody to be cursing out or something sometime. Like like, you can't be there by yourself, right? You know what I'm saying? So when we share our gifts and we give our gifts to each other, we're pushing each other into new spaces, into new forms of life. You know what I'm saying? To allow us to know that we are not these carbon copies of these individuals that others made or we made. Just because I created this path or this past does not define me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I may have accepted this yesterday, don't mean I may accept it today. Right? So at the end of the day, you gotta learn like how you're gonna transition with your vibrations. And then a lot of things that even some of the conversations we had today is vibrations that may be in the world that you don't understand. So some vibrations that don't resonate with you, that you don't understand, you have to take a step back, right? And move yourself from those vibrations until you become stronger for understanding or awareness, if that's something you want to do, because sometimes you'll go into a vibration and it will destroy you. So people think that they're, invincible. They believe that nothing could destroy them,
I've been knocked down too many times.
Yeah, my friends, when I was
But isn't that beautiful, Sonny? You've been knocked down, but you didn't stay down.
No, I got up every time.
That's okay to get knocked down.
Get up. So, a righteous man falls 7 times, and get back up. So, you realize that we are falling because we don't know what's going on, right? We are falling because we are learning and we're relearning and we're learning again. And then we're going to learn again. We're going to learn about friends. We're going to learn about life. We're going to learn about ourselves, about our children. Every time we move through this life, there's new things to learn. There's new things to explore. Situations change in milliseconds, right? No one controls life. People out there control life. No one controls life, right?
And you know what? That is beautiful. That's
because if you, I have a saying I said a couple of times. I said, if you found someone in the world that's greater than you, run. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, keep it moving, right? Because you're not trying to lose yourself because you found somebody that's greater than you.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly. No, if that person is greater than you, that means they got to their greatness. I got to get some miles now.
Right.
I'm not going to lose my purpose within that person because they got to their greatness before me. No, they got to their greatness. And let me get to my greatness. We're not going to be doing no worshiping and idolizing. We're not doing any of those things, right? This is about the purpose of me coming to my purpose If you can assist me along the way, I'm thankful. If you're not, I'm also thankful that I mean my lesson to come from somebody else. At the end of the day, my optimism has to be at the forefront of all my vibrations, regardless of what it may be.
And you know what I love about what Sunny said about her children? Because she really showed a flip side of falling off the grid. But no, she said, I'm staying in the grid, but I'm going to use the power that I have to give this to my children so that they can stay in the battle, they can stay in the war, and they're equipped to fight the battle with strength and knowing who they are and not bowing to the powers that may be surrounding them, but I'm equipping them with the knowledge they need to stay in the war and fight the battles because of what I am giving them. And that's beautiful.
Right. Yeah,
Because
that nobody.
that's beautiful, and I commend you for that, Sonny, because this world is such that if our children do not have strong parents such as you, this world would just chew them up and spit them
Kill them
out,
alive. Eat them alive.
eat them alive. And
Eat
so
them
I
alive. You have to. Yeah.
commend you for that.
Thank you.
I agree that the power, no one's power is greater than your power. I think we need to understand that. I think we need to understand and stop coming outside of your power to look for other powers that can dominate yours. No, be comfortable with you. I don't care if you got a low vibrational power. It's your low vibrational power. Embrace it. Be grateful that you got it. Own it and move it and expound upon it. You know what I'm saying? If you got a great power, that's great. Share your power with others and help them get to a great power. But if you got a great power and you come and take the power of others, this is a great disservice against your power and against the power of others.
And Nathaniel, you just said something about if you recognize that you are on a low vibrational level and you recognize that and you acknowledge that, that's the beginning of raising your vibration.
Yep.
That's the beginning of it, because now you have acknowledged that and you're aware of that. So that means you coming in tune with who you are and where you are. And now you can decide, do I want to stay on this low vibrational level, or do I want to raise my vibrational level? And what do I need to do in order to accomplish that? It's about that time, Nathaniel. It's about that time.
I know.
Oh, it's over?
Yeah, it's only an hour. I know, right? It's
such a good conversation.
Like, this moves so fast, right? I know the time is of the essence. So, Jeannie usually take us out in a meditation, but you say you do meditation too, so you can take us out.
Oh gosh, you want me to? Oh, that's Let's see. I don't know if my meditation style is the same as what Jeannie was doing. For my meditation, I
put people on the spot all the time.
Huh?
That's how you put people on the spot all the time. Don't worry about it.
No, it's fine. I'm going to explain what I do to meditate. So what I do to meditate is I focus on my breathing. I usually have some form of frequency music behind me. And I just do really deep, heavy breathing with my eyes closed. I have a mantra that I use that I learned when I learned transcendental meditation. And I just repeat that until I zone out. If I catch myself slipping, I call myself back and I just keep going. I don't know.
So just give us a 60-second cap. We just need a 60-second recap.
Of just quietness. Let's do it.
60 seconds. All right.
Deep breathing. Everybody close their eyes. Take 3 deep breaths in and out. You can use a word if you want to create, if you don't have a mantra already. And that's the word you're going to recite while your eyes are closed, and you're going to focus on your breathing at the same time. If it's too hard to say a word, you can also count to 4 forwards and backwards a few times until you feel your mind get quiet and just zone out.
Hmm. Cool. What you think about that,
Okay.
Jeannie? Because Jeannie takes us out, but I was like,
Yes.
Thank you,
Yes.
guys.
Yes. Thank you, Sunny. It has been an honor.
Oh, I
definitely.
appreciate this. This was such a good conversation. I'm grateful for you inviting me, Jeannie. It was beautiful to have this conversation with you, and I'm just grateful. That was what I kept seeing when I was meditating. Grateful. So thank
That's
you.
what's up. That's Jeannie's favorite word.
Oh,
Being grateful.
really?
So yeah, that's her favorite word. That's it. That's it. Gratitude.
Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
I'm gonna send you
Okay.
some little videos and you can post them up and things of that nature. But but
Definitely will.
we could definitely do a part two. Because it's another part of you we didn't get to, like that business part. So we could do a part two to get to that business part of you
I'm
as well.
looking forward to it.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So you're gonna set that up.
All right, all right.
Good day, everybody. Thanks for tuning in for I'm Data. Please subscribe. We on YouTube, Google, Spotify. We're on many different platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn. Reach out to us if you want to be a guest, if you got some things going on. Let us know. We're here to learn and to grow. Today, this is a part of Sunny's journey, exploring her power within. Tune in and learn some great things from Sunny. It was amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all, guys.
Peace and blessings.
Okay.